If you're a crafty person, a crocheter, and you spend any time at the Dollar Tree, you've probably seen it. Dollar Tree yarn. So I decided to work up a pattern using Dollar Tree yarn to see how it would go. I don't know how long Dollar Tree's been selling yarn, but the Dollar Trees near me have started to get lots of it and different kinds. Chenille, worsted, and this teddy that I just discovered. And I was curious, how would it work up? Was it quality? It's from the Premier Company, and from the number of YouTube crochet channels I watch, Premier seems to be one of the popular brands of yarn that's out there, but the only place I have ever seen it is at the Dollar Tree. For this, I also decided to work the same pattern in a different yarn. In my yarn haul from January, I went to the Hobby Lobby and I bought some of their Yarn Bee, different types of yarn. I bought the Ethereal Eyelash. This is what's left of it after making the project. And the Velvet, I can't remember the name of this. It was their Velvet Chenille, basically, is what this is. So I'm going to talk about that, the Dollar Tree first, and then this one. So I will put timestamps down below so you can decide on which one you want to watch. So I decided to do Yogi the Yeti. I have some yarn over here that I talked about buying. Bought some hobby brand yarn, and I was going to make it originally with that. But when I saw this this teddy yarn, I decided that I should make a smaller version. Obviously, it was going to be a smaller version of that pattern to make this. Now, this is listed as a number 4 medium weight, but I honestly wouldn't call it that. It's quite thin, and as you can see, it's fuzzy. It's got some texture to it. It's called Teddy, and then to correspond with the critter that I was making, I decided to buy some Just Chenille. And I have worked with this chenille yarn from the Dollar Tree before. I did a couple of pumpkins back in the fall, and I also did that Valentine cat with it. So I have used this before, but Teddy I had never used until today, or when I made this project. So Yogi the Yeti, this is what he turned out to look like. I used chenille for his horns as well, for his tusks. I guess those are tusks. So, my thoughts on it was definitely, I think it's a thinner yarn. I definitely think it's a thinner yarn than a 4. It sort of worked up as fuzzy, not super fuzzy. You probably can't really tell on this because he's so white, but pretty much what it looks like on the skein is how it turns out. It's not super fuzzy. I think the pattern said a number 5 hook. I think I used a 4 for this one. Yeah, I used a 4 for this. It was pretty easy to work with. I did have one problem when I was doing the pattern. The face, I didn't have it lined up with the horns, so when I first did the pattern, I didn't have the face lined up with the little horns, and I had to rip it out. So when you frog this, it was quite difficult. I ended up having to stop somewhere up here because it was all tangled and I couldn't frog it. So it does not frog well. So I had to take it, I'd cut it and start over. That was probably the only problem I had with the yarn itself. Now, if you were doing something like for markets or for to sell on I don't know if this yarn would be that quality for like a kid's project. I think it's adorable. I think it's cute. I had seen another YouTuber talk about it and she was working with it, so I decided to buy some, and then I didn't do the project that she did, and so I decided to make him. I think it's okay. You can kind of see the stitching in it. It's not as nice as the plushie yarn. Now, the chenille does work up quite well. you can see on his face that it works up quite well. I made a pumpkin with this, and like I said, I made the cat, that Valentine's cat with it, and I think it's soft. It's not super soft like the some of the nicer yarns that you get from like Bernat or even the Big Twist Posh. It's not that quality, but it's decent quality. I think they make cute. It would make cute little toys like this. And these eyes are from Hobby Lobby. I got these at Hobby Lobby. The tusks were also in the Dollar Tree chenille, just chenille from that whole collection. So I bought this yarn to make him. And I decided to go with the fur instead of this eyelash yarn. And I'm really glad I did, because at least for that project, because the fur on this is not as fuzzy as, he's very fuzzy. This is not. I mean, it's got some, it's wispy. It's very wispy. I don't think you can quite see it, but it looks like, basically, it looks like he's got lint all over him. Now, I had, as you can see, the eyes are a little wonky. I had trouble getting these safety eyes in because they were large and I couldn't squeeze them. So I had some difficulty. The same tusks are made with the same yarn, or the just Premier Chenille. And then his feet were made with the same yarn, this yarn that I got for him. So this was also Hobby Lobby. Between the two, I think I like this one better. I liked this yarn better. This was a beast to frog. I had the same problem. I messed the face up on this part here, getting it lined up. So I did have to frog it. And although it was a little bit easier to frog than that one, because I ended up cutting a lot of this wispiness off and where it would tangle. So it was a little bit easier to frog. But I just, as much as I like the texture on this, it's very silky. I would say, what is it made with? This is in smoked lavender is the color for this. Does not say what it's made. This is a number 5. This is considered a number 5, bulky. I don't know why, because to me it's very much like a worsted yarn. It's acrylic and polyamide, 25% polyamide, 25% acrylic. It feels like silk. It has a silk texture to it. Smooth. It did magic ring quite well. That one did well. The other one did magic ring well, but this was just like silk. I like the texture of it, but I didn't like it once it was worked up into this. It's very heavy. It's very hard. It's just not as, like, it's not as plushy as this, like, this fur is. So I'm glad I didn't make Craig in this. I'm glad I did save it for this. This is cute. I like him. I'm definitely going to be making him with the yarn that was recommended by the creator of this. The creator of this is Hooks and Healers. I'll put a link to her Etsy pattern and her, I think she's got a video on this guy. But like I said, his eyes, that was my fault. I put those in, and then I struggled with it so much, and then when I put the second one in, I just didn't line it up right. So he's a little wonky. Now on this same thing, I had problem both times. The protruding part here for his tusks never seemed to really come out like the way she did hers, but I think she did the Premier Chunky. But I did go up a hook size. I forgot. I did go up a hook size on this one. This was the 5 like she recommended for the pattern. So these little guys, I love the pattern. The pattern was, doing the tusks were the most difficult part, and lining the face up, because I did do that twice. I did 2 of them and I messed up both times lining the face up. I don't know what I did on it. It was operator error. Overall, the pattern was I'd say advanced beginner. I did have some trouble, like I said, on both of these with the face, getting the face correct. So it does take a little bit more skill, I think, than a just straight beginner. So this would probably be an advanced beginner project. I do think he's adorable. I do think the Yeti is adorable. And he will probably, that little guy will probably be sitting right there. I don't know what I'll do with the bigger one. But he, oops. So, yeah, I'd say advanced beginner maybe. It does take a little bit of carefulness with that face part, because you're switching yarns, you're switching between, and with this it was harder because this was a lot lighter than the chenille that I had, so it did kind of it was a little more difficult to work with than when I did the ethereal eyelash and the thing. So when I do this hobby yarn, they're both pretty much the same size. I think it might work better. But so this was my February project. I had originally planned, then he came along and I did him because I was testing also for hooks and healers, so I made him. But this was my planned February project. So for this year, for 2025, I am trying to do one new project a month, and that for originally I had planned to do this. Do the Yogi the Yeti. So Yogi the Yeti was originally my planned project for February. I'm glad I finished him in February. And I'm going to go ahead and now for March, I'm going to do the granny square chickens. That's, even though I know how to do granny squares, I was trying to do patterns that I had never done before, but I don't know how to put it together as a chicken. So the project itself will be different because you have to do the comb and the beak. So I don't actually know how to make them. So I've changed from doing patterns once a month, or a new pattern once a month, to a new project once a month. I'm also have some more of this Premier Chenille. I bought quite a bit of it a few weeks ago because they had pastels, and I wanted to make the Peeps bunnies plushies. So that's also, I really haven't honed in on what I want to do for March, but this, if I don't do these in March, I'm definitely going to do these in April for Easter. So thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you the next time and when I show what I'm doing with March. And I still have the Amigurumi Dollar Tree kit that I want to do, and a couple other new projects that I want to do, because I just keep finding projects. That's the fun thing, is I just keep finding new projects, and I love sharing them with everyone. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.